Here I am. Okay, so it's lovely to be with you. Let me share my screen with you and we can make a lovely start. Integrated learning and assessment, the benefits of a blended approach. Let's make a start. Okay, for our agenda this morning, we're going to look at teaching, learning and assessment. But I want us to begin by thinking about the perceptions and misconceptions about the role of assessment. And then we're going to go into two forms of assessment and take a closer look. First, formative, and then summative assessment. And then we're going to look at the benefits of integrating formative with summative assessment, which leads us to integrated learning and assessment, which is the best of both worlds. So let's begin. Now, our mission as teachers is to support and promote the life chances of our learners, opening doors, inspiring and motivating them, equipping our learners to go out into the real world. So this is our mission. So what are the concepts that underpin what we're driving towards? Three concepts. Number one, teaching. Number two, learning. Number three is assessment. So there are three key cornerstones, if you like. I want us to take a close-up look at assessment. Here we have two images of assessment, and I'd like you to tell me, are they the same or are they different? Can you tell me in the chat box whether you see these as the same or different? What are the difference between the two? So can you type any ideas, and bear in mind, all ideas are fantastic ideas. So the differences between these two forms of assessment would be fantastic into the chat box as opposed to the Q&A, if that's okay. Okay, let me see. Summative versus formative. Interesting idea. Lovely. Thank you for that. Pressure versus a ND stress. ND, I'm not sure about that. Anybody else got anything else that they can pop in that chat box? And I can see some other ideas coming in slowly. Let's see. All right. Let's take a look at the next screen. I'll go into it in a little more detail. But thank you for that. Those contributions there, very helpful. So teaching, learning and assessment. Here we have something of a paradox of perception. I see somebody said collaborative assessment. I like that idea as well. So teaching and learning appear to operate together happily in the classroom. Teachers teach, as we know, learners learn, and then assessment tests. Interesting. So I wanted to take another close-up look at our feelings about assessment. Is it perception? Is this reality? Or do we have misconception here? Now, many of our teachers and learners can think of assessment as something like the difficult friend in the teaching and learning relationship. It's the one that sits a little bit on the outside. It feels a little bit separate to teaching and learning. It can feel that it's something that is done to the learner, perhaps perceived as the responsibility of the teacher and the exam body. And I wonder whether this sounds familiar. These are ideas that I've heard very often from colleagues and their feelings about assessment. Let's take a closer look. So I need to get your views, and I've heard some lovely ideas here in the chat box of how you would describe formative assessment. This is going to be really helpful for us in our session now. So someone has said formative assessment. I can hear one is an exam, another is peer assessment, and summative assessment. Okay, so we're seeing summative assessment as the exam. Okay, anything else? What key elements really distinguish formative assessment? What adjective would you use to describe formative assessment? Any ideas there? I've had someone say collaborative, innovative. Yep, someone's okay. Let's move on. I'm going to take a look now at a close-up look at formative and summative assessment. So I think one of the ways that's really useful for describing formative assessment is that it's where teachers are playing the detective in class. And this is really key because as teachers, we collect evidence, and we're collecting evidence because we want to check what our learners know and what they can do. Now, the evidence we're collecting is going to be linked to the syllabus and to those learning objectives, where we're taking our learners to. We're checking our learners' progress against those learning objectives. And importantly, with formative assessment in the classroom, we're providing our learners with feedback, and we're adjusting our teaching in response to the evidence. But importantly, we're supporting our learners so that they know the journey that they're on, so that they can ask questions they need to know to clarify their understanding. Some lovely ideas here. Student understanding throughout the course, and formative occurs through the course. Some lovely, lovely ideas there. Thank you for your contributions. So it's about the learning. It is about the learning. So example strategies, let's take a look. Really importantly, number one, signpost those learning objectives. Your learners need to know the roadmap, the journey they're on for each lesson. Signpost it at the beginning of the lesson, reference back to those objectives to demonstrate how well your learners are doing, to check in with your learners during the lesson, and then reflect on those objectives at the end of the lesson. So the learners can reflect and think, by the end of the lesson, I know this. At the beginning, I wasn't so confident. Monitoring in class, really important. This helps us to assess our learners' performance. We can make judgments and assessments. We can collect evidence around the class from our learners. And importantly, we can give our learners feedback. We can also take a little poll, a vote, if you like. We can ask learners to hold up a green sign, make little cards, traffic light cards, green to signal, I understand. A yellow card to signal, I need more practice. Red to say, I don't understand. And this poll can be delivered online. You can do this digitally. You can do it with man-made cards that you make yourself, or you can go digital. It's your choice. There are lots of options. Another lovely thing you can do is to provide exit tickets at the end of the class. Ask teachers to write on a slip of paper, tell a friend what you learned today. So they reflect on their learning, what they took away from the lesson. Ask learners to write down where they need more help. You can do this digitally. At the end of the class, you collect the tickets, you take them away, and here is your evidence, hard evidence of how your learners feel about their learning. So let's turn to summative assessment. I noticed one or two of you said that summative assessment is the exam at the end of the study period. Well, summative assessment does happen at the end of a period of study, and it's to check what learners know and can do. And we often think of it as the exam, but it's linked to the syllabus. It's linked to the learning objectives. We only test our learners on what we've taught. We only test them on what they've learned. So essentially, it's evidence-based. We're collecting evidence to check what they've learned. Now, it's not all about the big exam at the end of the course. It's also summative assessment is weekly progress tests, assessing them at the end of the week, at the end of the unit. Also, large-scale exams, for example, Cambridge exams. Again, it comes back to the learning. It's always about the learning. So let's take a look at this idea. Formative, summative assessment, the same but different. Let's compare. Formative assessment, yes, it's evidence-based. But so is summative. We're collecting evidence based on their performance. Formative, mapped to the syllabus, mapped to the learning objectives. And again, our summative assessments also mapped to the syllabus and learning objectives. Assessment of learner performance, yes, but so is summative assessment. They both are related to one another, but delivered slightly differently. And formative assessment informs our next steps, as does summative assessment. Now, for formative, it will be for the class. What do we do next in the lesson? Or what do we need to do to support our learner on their next steps? But also summative assessment. That also informs next test. Our progress tests will help us make decisions about the class. And our Cambridge exams, the individual, where do I go from here? What's my next? So there is something of a challenge. I'm calling it the assessment challenge. Let's take a look. Now, formative assessment sounds fantastic. However, consider these thoughts. It is reliant on the intuition of a good teacher. It's also reliant on teachers' ability and their experience, so that they know how to observe and interpret evidence of learning in class. And, importantly, how to respond to the evidence to meet the needs of their learners. We could say it lacks the academic rigour of a test or exam. We could ask, is it assessment at all? Isn't this just teaching? So let's look at summative. Also sounds fabulous, but it can be tempting for the teacher to have their eye on the test. That's where they're working towards. So teaching to the test can be something of a concern. But it also only tells us what our learners know relative to the items they've been tested on. It doesn't tell us what else our learner knows, what else our learners can do. It doesn't capture our learners' voices. We can't hear them in their summative assessment test papers as we can in the formative classroom. We can't learn how they feel about their learning, where they feel they need more support. So that makes us think, formative or summative, which is the best? What should we do? Well, you'll be glad to know both are really effective when they're used together, because the priority is to improve learning outcomes. It's always about the learning. So now consider this idea from the literature. David Carless argues that the words formative and summative assessment are imprecise. They don't quite capture what we're talking about. Because for all assessments, whether predominantly summative or formative in function, the key aim is to promote productive student learning. Grading and certifying also important functions, but they should not outweigh the core learning purpose. And that's absolutely key. So you can see here that these two ideas are coming together, integrating formative and summative assessment, integrated learning and assessment. We're moving towards that concept. And here we are, integrated learning and assessment. We have a definition, and I think this is helpful for you. So consider this. Definition: combined use of teaching, learning and assessment methods to plan, measure and improve outcomes. Not just formative, not just summative, the bringing together. Let's take a closer look. The ILA approach, the blending of teaching, learning and assessment. The value helps teachers collect evidence so that they, with their learners, can plan and evaluate their learners' progress and plan future learning, next steps. Where do we go from here? So it improves learning outcomes. Key considerations? Let's take a look. The ILA approach, as I've said, is a combination of those teaching, learning, and assessment methods. And the value is that it helps teachers and the learners so that they can plan, evaluate progress, and plan future learning, because that means that you're collecting evidence, working with that evidence to plan your next steps, to personalize your learner's learning journey, improving learning outcomes. So, key considerations. What are they in an ILA approach? Here we go. Number one, SMART learning objectives. Your learners need a roadmap. They need to know where they're going in the lesson, through the week, what they're working towards by the end of their course. So the learning objectives in class need to be really specific. They need to be measurable so that you can assess whether learners have learned and whether they understand where they're going. They need to be achievable. Don't set learning objectives that they can't possibly achieve in that lesson. Make it achievable. Learners need to go away from class feeling that they're winning. And they have to be relevant and time-bound. So, the beginning of a lesson, talk through those objectives and say, by the end of the lesson, we will have worked on, and you will be able to understand and use the present perfect, for example. Now, this means that ILA requires significant lesson planning or thinking about. So plan ahead. It really helps to plan how you're going to evaluate what your assessment strategies are. How will you know what your learners understand, know, and can do through the lesson? How are you going to collect your evidence so that you can then respond to their specific needs? How are you going to adapt? And then, of course, you need to be able to collect your evidence, identify learners' needs, and give them feedback, adjusting the lesson to meet their needs. You may need to stretch some learners, but you may need to offer remedial support to those learners who need a little bit of extra help. So you may need to plan differentiation activities to differentiate for the stronger and the weaker learners. Plan follow-up activities based on what you anticipate your learners' needs to be in the planning stage, and work with the evidence as you plan your next lesson. You've captured that data, you're going away, thinking about what you're going to teach tomorrow. What have you found today that you can bring into your lesson tomorrow? So what I want to talk about now is to look at those integrated learning and assessment classroom strategies. So number one, do you have a clear learning journey, a coherent syllabus? Now, really lovely, there are some courses that really take on ILA as a methodology, a teaching methodology. Empower is one of these courses. Power Up is another course that provides an ILA approach, and Evolve is another course book that delivers this. But it provides a very clear learning journey because unit by unit learning objectives are specified. And here we have Empower. Number two, use your board. So important. Signpost those learning objectives. If you're online, signpost those objectives online as well with your learners. Review them through the lesson and encourage learners to stop, to think and reflect. How do I feel about those objectives? How am I performing here? Do I need more help? Formative assessment, really key. Thinking about your objectives, plan your assessment strategies. How am I going to find out what my learners know and what they can do? Link them to the objectives. Evaluate learners' performance and give them feedback. Really important to tell your learners how well they're doing and adjust your teaching if you can see that they need a little bit of extra support. But it also creates space for learners to stop, think, ask questions, ask for help. And then we have, of course, summative assessment, again, an ILA strategy. Provide regular progress tests. Link them to the objectives to evaluate learners' progress, but only evaluate their progress, test them on what you've been teaching. Provide them with feedback and encourage reflection, learner reflection. So it always comes back to the learning. Now, there are some more ideas if you're really looking for some nice teaching ideas for how to bring ILA into your classroom. There's a webinar and we can provide you with the link to that. But the webinar provides you with tips and tricks to show you the value of collecting smart evidence, setting smart objectives in class, how to use eliciting to find out what your learners know. That's your teacher's assessment strategy. How to use concept check questions to assess what learners understand. Such a key thing to find out whether they really do understand what the meaning is behind a word or behind a linguistic structure. And then do a round class, a classroom assessment. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you do or don't understand. Use your traffic lights to take a round the class assessment of whether they're with you or not. That is assessment. And then there's ideas here on how to approach self-assessment, how to approach learner reflection, which is so key in the ILA model. So for more ideas, the link will be provided. So we may have had a little hiccup, but let's review what we've looked at today. We looked at core concepts of teaching, learning, and assessment. We thought about those perceptions and misconceptions about the role of assessment. And we looked at this by taking a closer look at formative assessment, what formative assessment means in the classroom for you, and the role of summative assessment. They're not necessarily two forms of assessment that sit apart, they can come together. And this brings us to integrated learning and assessment, which offers the best of both worlds because it always comes back to improving our learners' learning outcomes. And that is my final slide. So there are my links. There's lots of links there, which Ryan, I know, is going to share with you. So that's going to be really helpful for you. So if you want to look at more resources, more ideas, links to webinars and useful resources, take a look at those links. And I'm here now for any questions. Let me just see my links. Okay, so I'm so sorry about that not working, the link, my line going down. So do we have any questions? Thank you for sharing those links. Q&A, let's have a look in the Q&A. Okay, really nice question here. Now, is the teacher expected to conduct an assessment of learners in every classroom activity? Really lovely question, because the goal in ILA, Integrated Learning Assessment, is to think of the assessment potential in every task that we deliver in the classroom. So we're thinking about the flow and the connection between activities, leading learners towards the achievement of those final activities. So when you plan your lesson, think about how are you going to check what your learners know and can do through the lesson. It doesn't have to be with every activity, but there should be points in the lesson at which you take a stop, gather your feedback, collect your evidence in class. Not necessarily with every activity, but it really is helpful to think always what to do. I just need to advise you that I've had a note, my internet connection is still a little bit unstable. So if I disappear, please accept my apologies. Okay, now this is a lovely one again, Charlotte. So one of the questions is about following a set curriculum. What do I do if I'm following a set curriculum and I can't change the learning objectives? I don't think that this should be a problem because your curriculum will have learning goals. Your curriculum will be taking your learners on a journey with your own objectives, and you can work with those objectives. So when you plan your timetable, when you plan your lesson, think about what your learners, you want them to achieve by the end of the lesson that they didn't know quite so well at the beginning. And this will be linked to the set curriculum that your school, your institution has. Work with your objectives and build in and plan your lessons around those objectives so you can assess your learners' performance as they work towards your learning objectives within your curriculum. So what would you suggest in the case of a disconnect between formative and summative assessment? For example, a teacher reporting amazing progress in class, but producing poor exam results. Now, that's an interesting one because it makes us think of it's a difficult one. Exam results as in the final exam. I'm going to work with that one to begin with. I would be surprised if you've got a really clear structure in your course that you are working towards, and you've got a lovely syllabus that you're working with. Your syllabus should support you to take you on that learning journey towards that that final exam. My fear would be that if your syllabus doesn't match the learning journey you are taking your learners on so that they can achieve complete their exam. So for example, if you are going to be doing B2 first for schools and you had a writing task, they may be brilliant at writing the activities you've set them in class, but if they haven't had preparation for practicing how to produce the task types that are expected of them in the exam, it's going to be very difficult. They may have all the knowledge, but they won't have all the skills that you will have taught them, need to teach them to prepare for the exam. So there's some practice that learners will need. So there can be a disconnect, but not necessarily, it can be addressed if you know from the beginning where you're going to, preparing learners for that final destination, step by step. Okay, monitoring. I can see a question about monitoring learners as a strategy. Now, yes, I can see that this can be a problem if you've got a larger class. Because time, however big your class, is a problem for all teachers. I don't think there's a single teacher in the globe who would say that time is not a problem. So it can be difficult to monitor learners in larger classes. So that's why signposting those objectives at the beginning is really, really important so that learners can reflect on those objectives as you work through the lesson. So it's important to stop, think, look back and encourage learners to think about their progress and ask questions if they're unsure. But also, reflection is a large part of ILA, and it can be helpful to encourage learners to sit together, to look at those objectives and to discuss between them as a speaking activity how they feel they're performing against those objectives. And that is something you can do at the end of class. Have a little speaking activity. How have we done today? Discuss with your partner, feedback as a whole class. And that will give you the opportunity to collect evidence that is more difficult to achieve with a bigger class. So hand it back to the learners, but create a space for learner reflection against those learning goals. And they will tell you where they need support if you tell them where they're going. Now, formative assessment, lovely question there, requires more teacher experience. Yes, I think it does, but it also requires teacher confidence. And I think it requires teacher confidence to make time to stop and think rather than just plow on teaching to that lesson plan because it's got to be all completed by the end of the lesson. So explain to teachers that they need more to create time and space to stop and think, giving you time and space as the inexperienced teacher to monitor, to collect your evidence. Another strategy I think is absolutely essential for all teachers, if you can do it in your school, is to pair teachers and encourage teachers to observe more experienced teachers as they're working using formative assessment. And when you pair teachers, the inexperienced teacher and the experienced teacher will be communicating beforehand to say, okay, in this lesson, I want some help with formative assessment, and I'm looking for strategies. I'm looking for more insights into how to achieve this. Can we make this my objective as I'm observing? And the teachers can work together as a team, and that can be a wonderful way to share experiences, to ask questions, to develop together. Okay, does this approach work with young learners? Oh, that's a lovely question. Now, I think this is an interesting one because I think it can work with younger learners. And in fact, one of the books, it's not quite young learners, is a teenage book. So it's for the younger of it's not the sort of pre-university students. I think it needs careful thought. I think with your formative assessment, you need to be really carefully planning how you're going to collect your evidence of what learners know and what they can do, and how you're going to give that feedback so that learners, young learners, will leave the class feeling a terrific sense of achievement. Yes, I can do this. I didn't know this at the beginning of the lesson. I know it now. So plan. It's all in the planning. And step by step. Rome isn't built in a day, as they say. So you don't have to go large. Small little developments. Any progress is good progress. So give that feedback to your young learners so they feel really positive about their learning experience, and encourage them. Make space for them to stop, to think, to reflect. And I think in this current busy world of ours, it's really key to make space for learners to stop and think and reflect on their experience in their learning environment. So yes, it can do, but plan it.